What's up everyone, it's Lord Brodyark here, this time with a follow-up to my previous video on the Llamatodd drama. I'll have that video linked in the description of this one. Now, when I originally covered that drama, I kept it pretty short as I didn't have much to say other than covering the tweet itself and a few specific responses. I thought I could give my piece on it and we could move on to other topics. Well, brothers, apparently there's more to the story here with some new developments. So let's get into it. Last time, the Twitter squad was crashing out over Llamatodd's tweet about everyone's favorite greatest of communities. That seems to have continued since then. But what we're going to be covering today has gone beyond that one tweet about the FF14 community. This has somehow gone political? Oh, for the love of Zodiark, here we go. Look, politics is something that's never fun to talk about because you're inherently going to disagree with a sizable chunk of the internet. But I'm going to keep things honest and straight here as I always do. If I've got an opinion on something, I'm not going to sugarcoat it or pretend I don't have it. I believe that it's best for me to keep it $1.50 with you all, so I will. Don't let anyone tell you that your man Brodyark here is a liar. And if you disagree with me, that's okay. With that said, what I've prepared for you all today is 2 clips that I found on Twitter. But before I show those clips, we'll need to see what started this next chapter of the drama first. Luckily for us, I believe I found just that. Here is a tweet from another streamer, Arthas, asking what exactly was wrong with Llamatodd's tweet. This tweet itself is mostly irrelevant to the situation, so we'll move on to the comments below where meat and potatoes are. This user here responded by saying the issue was Llamatodd's tone. I do agree that his tweet was a little aggressive in tone, but at the same time, does that dismiss what was said? I personally don't think so. Anyways, what's interesting here is that the example was a link to something we covered last time. The comment left by that guy who used to pretend to be Hulk Hogan. I've already said my piece about that tweet last time, so I won't repeat myself here. But under that, we have a chain of tweets that led to this new part of the drama. I'll show them on screen for you real quick. Essentially, Llamatodd posted evidence showing why Ro is a bad faith actor, a sentiment I do agree with. But here's where this finally started. Llamatodd was asked if he was politically right-wing, to which he answered with a no, and that he aligns more with libertarian politics, but also that to someone like Ro, that probably isn't too much of a difference. Perhaps that could have been an innocent question, I don't know. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But oh boy, I'm sure you can already see how this went, huh? God forbid you not be a far leftist on the internet. And wouldn't you know it, this was followed up by this person asking for his opinion on the January 6th riots. Man, let's be real here guys, this question was not in good faith. No matter what opinion you have on that whole debacle, you have to admit that this was asked with ill intent. Who brought January 6th into this discussion? This isn't even a question worth answering in the first place as it's coming from someone with malicious intentions. Anyways, it was this series of tweets that sparked the topic of today's video. Now I did promise you guys some video clips, and I do intend to deliver. For this first clip, we have a clip taken from what I believe to be one of Llamatodd's streams. I'll let him speak for himself here and then we'll break it down.
And they think they're like, they got me or something. Like it's, oh, he's been faking it. He's been hiding who he is. I'm like, well, yeah, you can't really be a moderate or even remotely right of left in the Final Fantasy community. You have to be very neutral. You have to suppress anything that would rub them the wrong way. You have to. You gotta pander or you gotta shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna have to agree with Todd here, guys. The Final Fantasy XIV community is a left-leaning community, and with how divisive modern politics have gotten, intolerance for opposing political opinions is at an all-time high. You really can't express anything that goes against the mainstream without getting attacked for it. We've already seen it happen to Llamatodd, as I just showed you. Now, I do want to make it clear that not everyone is like these people that attack others over political differences. In fact, most are pretty reasonable people. But you can't deny that this sort of thing does happen. And when it comes to this community, the majority of cases do go one specific way, so let's not pretend otherwise either. Speaking of pretending otherwise, here's that Ro guy again doing just that. Like I pointed out in my previous video on this drama, the kinds of topics that Ro promotes are radical, far left in nature, even if he likes to pretend otherwise. There's no doubt about that. And so, I don't think that claiming that Llamatodd's political stances are harmful when this is what you support is a fair criticism. Even if we assume that Todd was a harmful far-right ideologue, which he's not, you'd be two sides of the same coin. That'd be hypocrisy. But Llamatodd isn't a harmful far-right ideologue, so instead you're just wrong. Anyways, soon after, Ro posted this clip I'm about to show you.
So again, Llamatodd, I'm going to make this message very clear to you. If this is the audience that you want to cultivate, the Tectone Asmongold audience...
Objection!
Hold on a minute here. I'm not too familiar with this Tectone guy, but why is Asmongold being mentioned as if he's a bad guy with a bad audience? Asmongold is one of the most popular streamers on the internet. The internet loves him and his content. That's a stupid point. Whatever, let's just continue.
You're going to lose more than you're going to gain.
If he's attracting the Asmon audience, like you said, this is a straight lie.
But I hope it works out for you in the end. I really do. Because I'm the type of person that thinks that even though you say crazy things on the internet, the real life you is probably a better person than the online you. And I hope this brings you happiness and comfort. That's all I want for you. I want nothing but the best for you, as Llamatodd. Nothing but the best for you, brother. I guess I can continue on the stream talking about all my issues with Final Fantasy 14.
Okay, well that seemed like a pretty nice thing to say to Todd, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm not buying it. Sorry, but I'm just not willing to believe that this guy who consistently argues in bad faith is suddenly having a change of heart. Especially with this new rebranding as a beacon of positivity. Guys, if anyone ever goes out of their way to tell you unprompted that they are a super-duper positive person, that person is most likely not only a liar but a narcissist as well. Then again, this is Ro we're talking about here, so I'm thinking we already knew that. Anyways, I think that's about it for the new parts of this drama, at least so far. If there's anything further worth covering, I might make a part 3. But hopefully this is the end for this particular topic. Well guys, this has been Brodyark. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.